it. We get the Shun signature here as well. A little bit more given to him, and it is the Kindred locked in for Shun and BLG.
All right, what will the options be around it? You want to see a lot of like DPS picks typically surrounding it in the AD carry slot specifically. So if you do go Varus, you really might end up going towards that. But one thing I also want to know is Elk can just go Zeri. Zeri is up and available. You go Zeri Lulu. You have a really strong core. Victor, this early on would be very, very interesting because you don't know where the Annie is necessarily going to be committed to. Gal's going to end up going towards the Rise. And we did, or at least I did, I asked to see BLG take Rise out of Angel's hands, and they're going to do it via picking it up. And RNG now have the opportunity to get a counter pick into it if they really want to. Maybe you go towards the Galio this time, Angel. Maybe you try and provide a little bit of that utility play. But also, I feel like Galio into Kindred is surprisingly oppressive, because if you are BLG and you all want to stack on top of the Kindred owner and then you just slam Galio in there because there's often a mosh pit, it's space you have to just vacate. Otherwise, you end up eating a massive knock-up and you end up eating a massive taunt. Can be quite annoying to deal with as RNG.
Very true.
They don't want to go through the jungle or through the mid lane route. But now, of course, they've still got Annie as that flex. They want Gala on a hyper carry.
You got to. We saw a massive, massive difference from game 1 to game 2 just because of that change to the Aphelios here for Gala. Now, the question is, we get the final pick of the first phase. This is a traditionally good matchup for the Kennen into the Jax. We'll see if Ben wants to take this one here. And a lot of that team fight setup to play around the Shun. Lambs are spiting a lot of the AoE they have.
That's really, really giga chat. I like the idea of this composition so far from BLG. If they have to stand their ground
Venn diagrams.
Yeah, just Venn diagram. Okay, right. Now they need a Mumu Samira bot, and they're sorted. And all of a sudden, if you step into
the circles are coming at you.
The circles, what do they mean? Yeah, it's going to be very, very dangerous for RNG to actually approach. I feel like RNG should try and index into a little bit of range here. If they end up with Annie in the support role with Ming, I would really like to see something like Jace in the mid lane, and then something from Wei, which doesn't necessarily have to play, you know, in the faces of BLG. We'll see what they want to do as RNG making the correct call. Any AD carry that can like stand their ground right now is definitely, you know, for the ban table right now. And I think Xayah makes a whole bunch of sense. You could go Zeri just because of the strength of the champion. I wonder what else.
I will say also, like,
well,
I actually would not mind a Lucian Nami at this point, right? Like, because yes, we were talking about in game number 1 for Gala, it wasn't exactly the thing we needed to see. It's the most played for Elk so far by a long shot, at least in the season. But also, you have so many other things that are distractions on the side of BLG that you might be able to weave your way in there.
Maybe. I don't know if I like it, but we'll see what they decide to do, right? It's BLG with the opportunity. There's the Varus, again, just kind of being on strength champion there, which says to me they don't mind if Elk gets the Zeri again. They don't really care. So I think that for BLG, if they want to go Zeri, they can. I think it'd be a bit of a bait. I don't know how I feel about the Lucian Nami. I'm a big hater. I'll just flatly say it. I'm a big hater.
I feel something happening. There's something happening in my head. I don't know. There's veins. There's something. Oh my God, it's gone.
Wow, okay, it's just Zeri.
And it's gone. Because Zeri is something that L can rely on. And we saw that this is the reliance for this series, is late game carries, that if you get them there, they will win you the game straight up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Renata for RNG, pretty high value here. If everyone's in that mosh pit, the more AoE you have, the higher chance you have of surviving.
Yeah, so many good hostile takeovers too.
Yeah, there are 2 very, very strong targets to hostile takeover, so RNG doing a good job there, and that does lock Annie into the mid lane with Angel against that Rise. Now the question is, what will Wei pick, right? Like, a lot of junglers have been banned away here. Has to dive very deep, and it's gonna be Zins now. Okay. It's not often we ever see this champion, but it's definitely on the list. It's just so far down that often we don't get to ever see it, as that was a very funny hover from On. I feel like Rakan makes a whole bunch of sense. There's only really 2 ways to disrupt the engagement. They're gonna go for the Blitzcrank!
Let's go! It's locked in, and they got some aggression. Pull them into the thunder here for PLG.
I mean, it is kind of the theme, isn't it? Look across. You've got Kennen, you've got Zeri, and you now have Blitzcrank. Electricity all we need now is a Hextech Rift, and I think BLG might just win by default. That could actually be the option. We'll see, but I think a lot of this game, you know, we focused on draft about, you know, standing around, dealing with this Kindred ultimate. I feel like it's just going to be a game of, you know, it's going to be a bit of a game of chicken. Who is going to make Shun pop the ultimate, or how is Shun going to use the ultimate? And will BLG, you know, beat
between these two teams?
And Blitzcrank can make or often break a team or a game. Listen to those gyros. There's the whole venue. I love the crowd. They're ready for this game.
I love it, man. I can sit there sometimes, just listen to it. It's just awesome. I miss crowds. But here we are again into our culmination match of the day, our final match of the day. And as we take a look at Runes, not necessarily it stands out, but the compositions are what does. And he does have the Riot skin. Ooh, what a cutie. He's just a big chunkin' robot.
Now.
And he even has the you gotta go full theme, okay? You gotta go full theme.
I like it. I like it a lot. Now, as I was saying,
this is also the 13th champion, by the way, for on.
Not bad. Not bad. So here's the thing about Blitzcrank. Frankly, he either hits hooks and solo wins the game in pro play, or he does nothing and loses it, or he does nothing for like 30 minutes and then hits a hook on the core carry and wins the game. There isn't really much in between.
So there's three phases that we gotta look out for.
Will he hit them from the get-go? Will he miss all of them? And will he hit the one that matters? That's it.
I mean, all you need is Gala caught one time. But Ming has been pretty quick on the trigger pull of the hostile takeover. We saw a lot of crucial moments there in the last game. Also, speaking of Ming, apparently it's his 600th game here. Congratulations to Ming, one of our long-standing members and long-standing pillar of RNG.
Yeah, and if I read that graphic correctly, I can't read Mandarin, by the way. I saw the number 7, which makes me think he's the 7th most tenured by games player in the LPL, so even nicer on the stat than just the 600, as both these junglers angling for a gank right now. Mid lane one's gonna fail, but Shun. Breathe has gold.
He gets the angle here. He goes for the flash early on, and Breathe's like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. I don't know if he can, though. The stun comes through. This should be first blood to BLG, but Breathe, a little bit of speed there with that ghost, and he goes right into Wei's waiting arm.
Yeah, I mean, just getting into melee range there. Shun means he eats the Counter-Strike stun, isn't able to keep up, get the auto attacks in. Just really well played from Breathe.
Oh my god, Wei went on one side and said, hey, I'm trying to get you on the other side, you gal. Are you good? Okay, you're good. Maybe he just wanted a little bit of toothpaste.
I don't know. I'm sure Wei has brushed his teeth before he came to the venue, so I don't think he needs more toothbrush.
Well, I mean, he's hovering around Yagal so much, you know, maybe he just needs a little bit of something. He is getting chunked down pretty heavy here. It does have Angel right around the corner, though, so nothing else is going to come out of it. But the biggest thing here for BLG is that they do have a route out of mid lane at level 6 for Yagal. And it's about using that proactivity, especially with this aggressive nature that Shun will be taking on the Kindred.
Absolutely. Kindred, really, really strong invader. And even though Xin Zhao can be one of her more irritating matchups at times, if you can take advantage of the early levels and you can be the first one to the punch, oftentimes or not, this matchup all of a sudden becomes very, very Kindred favored. As Breathe, I think he's just going to try and check. I think he can see the blue buff being taken now on that ward. And it doesn't really matter as this play.
Boy, should have bot lane. Exhausted come through early. There's the re-engage though as Elk wants Ming and gets the bailout though. They can't get the kill and he goes down. Elk gets the angle here. Can he get out? It will not be so. Kill given over to Gala. Traded 1 for 1 and it's first blood that went over to BLG.
First blood to BLG. Kill trade. Didn't quite see who ended up with all of the kills. It's both the AD carries, so not bad. Shun's here to dive the top side of the map. Teleport very, very early from Angel. That will just dissuade the dive. Will be really good of Shun. We can just kind of shoulder guard. That's the one half of Kindred. Angel away. I'm just going to let Angel return back to the mid lane and take a reset of his own. Let's see what he gets up to once he's back out on the map.
Now we do have Dragon up on the board. Obviously would be an early Dragon, but with Shun pathing down that way and a little bit of presence and priority in bottom lane. Speaking of bottom lane, we'll go check in on them. I wonder if they do start that Dragon on the other side of this. But this is what happened with Ming. The flash from Elk to make sure the bailout doesn't go through.
Yeah, exactly. Just that flash away to get the distance so that Wei and Gala can't get the DPS out to revive their support. Really solid stuff.
Hey, look
from
at
BLG.
that. Sometimes I know things.
Sometimes you do. Very proud of you.
Not often.
Get the Dragon.
Sometimes.
Not often. Nah, it's not often. Look, man, I've been with and heard my fair share of very interesting play-by-play, and that's so you're doing all right.
The trek through semi-pro. You know how it goes. Oh, we got the mobility boots here for Odd. A little bit of spice.
He's sprinting in. He wants out of that lane, and he wants to go and roam.
I want to catch people. They're too good down here.
And you know what? To be fair, as this trade goes through, Ming did say that On's roaming capabilities in the SOT are quite good. So, you know, mobility boots, blitzcrank. Look at dodging on that. Look at how fast he's going.
Vroom. But he didn't get the hook. It's like a vroom and a. It just goes right by. I don't know if you heard the second part. It was very quiet, but it was a blow of wind. And now still BLG with even some of those things not going their way. They're about 1,000 gold in the lead over RNG. Sub 7 minutes.
Pick up on the first mark. 7 minutes into the game. Shun wasn't able to get that first gank off, so it doesn't quite work out. Level
this
6.
is level 6. Yeah.
But remember, you know, the level 6, it's a strange combat element, right? It's not like if Wei had level 6 and he'd feel confident because there's an extra layer of damage into his combo. It's about extending the fight and then trying to execute targets after the fact. As
Capitalize.
Capitalize, yeah. Shun just continuing this aggression.
He's already 20 CS up, man. Like he is playing this Kindred as we would expect him to, and just continuing to levy the aggression onto RNG's early jungle.
Just making sure that Wei isn't able to do anything. And here's the thing, back in the day, Xin Zhao would be sort of considered a counter into Kindred. You could run things like Phase Rush, you know, keep the sticking power, lock her down, and then just have other members like kill her. Or, to be honest with you, Xin Zhao used to have so much damage, you could pretty much just solo kill her. But these days, like I said, you know, if you know the matchup intimately well, you abuse the level 2, the level 3, the early levels, get information, work off it, and be the first one to get that damage in. You can really take control of the matchup. And Shun showing off his very keen understanding of the champion, the matchup, and dominating the 1v1 time and time again. He's going to get the Herald now for it.
Yeah, and good stuff in the early game. They've gotten the Dragon, they've gotten the first Herald. On has just been consistently moving around. He is literally running track right now as he's looking in the mid lane, tries to go on to Angel, catches. No, he doesn't do it this time. Level 6 just hit though as his presence in the mid lane. Hear the crowd saying a little bit of something there. Let's hear a little bit of that back and forth here. But the quick back completed by Shun. And it should go back to normal on the rip. We do see a mark actually there on the Chicky Nuggies of Wei. Should be gone pretty quickly though, as Wei will wrap back around.
Yeah, that's one thing we're going to have to continue to look at as well, is how many stacks Shun ends up with. Right now, he's only got 1. But remember, that 4th stack, probably the most important. That's when you get the additional range, and then after that, every 3rd stack gives you about 25 range, as well as all of the other stats it does give. Darkspire's attack speed and such. And Bin is just getting,
oh my goodness,
the better end of this trade by a country mile.
That's what we expect for this matchup, though.
Absolutely is. And Bin just piloting it to perfection now. Breathe just has to deal with the pressure. Another plate will go over. And Bin's up 30 CS on Breathe. It's really rough.
And speaking of, Shun is also up that 30 CS. Now we're just getting the robe here. Yagal and On teaming up with Shun. And this is the power point of BLG. Valk able to get away from this little engage. The handshake goes a little bit wide, the back being completed from Wei. Now Breathe has found Bin, but Bin in a bit of trouble here. That's slicing Maelstrom. It's the Grandmaster's might, not enough. The charge from the Rift Herald went in mid lane. More turret plates over to BLG.
Yeah, and it went into the back pocket of Shun. Yeah, again, just doing a really good job of procuring resources for himself. He's up so many camps on Wei. Quick map says about 7-8 camps almost. 79 CS, 80 CS.
He doesn't even want it back yet. He's just chilling with a pickaxe and 3 longswords.
At this rate, he's gonna flame Horizon in the jungle. Like, really soon. That's crazy. He's probably got so much gold as well. He hasn't based for a little while, I don't think, since he dropped the Herald, so he's going to be looking mighty comfortable, and he's going to approach that first item very quick. Curious to know what he's going to do. Currently with triple.
Gala's the saving grace right now. He's the only blue bar in all the red on the player gold graph. Now Dragon actually there, though, from the rotation of BLG.
In the Red Sea, and the question is, will he be dragged underneath the currents? Right now, BLG, I don't think.
Sounds terrifying, honestly.
It is. The Red Sea is a terrifying place to be.
Why is that? Did it just go pull you down?
Yeah.
No.
If I remember right, can't remember which sea.
Or is that the Dead Sea? I think it's the Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is the one which has like
where it's
a
like
really
super
high...
salty.
Yes. So the water's basically like heavy. So you kind of just can't swim in it for that long, and it just tires you out and you drown. It's very terrifying.
Yeah. No, I don't want. That's nightmare fuel. I'm good. I'm good on that.
Oh,
there's the hook. Oh, and Ming, the bailout. There you go, save you again. Yagao is here with the realm warp, and Wei flashing over the wall. BLG have gotten the composition that feels like just fits them here.
Oh my goodness me. Flash hook. Oh, not even a flash.
Wasn't even a flash hook.
Yeah, just
the second part.
Just
no big deal.
Just grabs him. But that's the thing about Blitzcrank. He is so like he can be doing nothing for like 30 minutes. Obviously, we're only 12 minutes into the game, but imagine he just doesn't really do anything for the next 20, and then boom, hook Scarlet, game's over. Like, what can you do about that? You just got to not get hooked. It's the only counterplay, Smile. So we'll see whether or not On can continue that level of accuracy, as Bin just plays it as safe as you would really ever hope. Angel.
A little bit, as they don't have enough damage to follow it down. Yagao might, though, as he gets handshook back into the team. Now he's blasting away. Yagao's getting low and goes down. Hostile takeover with 2 members now as well. But it's a bit dicey as look at those low health bars. And who wants to kill? None other but Shun, as he wants to go forward. That handshake back, though, Ming, beautifully done. It should be RNG making it out alive here. Unless Shun wants to go over the wall. The hook, they know he's there. No, it's not enough. Breathe. He's going to be under tower now. And there's a dive on its way.
Yeah, there is indeed. If Shun also, I don't know if he's got his passive up. Maybe you can swap it, you can get up a stack.
He has the ulti. Ming is right here.
The bailout.
He doesn't have much of anything, though, but it actually is enough to signal BLG going down as that rocket grab goes wide.
Yeah, they don't want to commit because they see Ming there, which means the bailout could make things a little bit complicated. Definitely respect the discipline from the BLG side. Rush back away. They got their plate. And they'll get another reset in, but that could have been very, very bloody very quickly. Imagine if Shun was here from the get-go as well. I think coming back from base all the way. The Angel gets hooked in by On. But I think Bin doesn't quite have ult. I'm pretty sure maybe he does, but just doesn't commit. Splash there from the Overload. Just about brings Angel within lethal, but he doesn't get another one out. And Yagao can't really do anything from that position. Just moved around a little bit too much. And Shun finally ends the fight. He wasn't there from the beginning, and like you say, the hostile takeover was just so good at buying a little bit of extra time to stop any damage response here from Bin in particular moving forward. Back and forth.
And that's why Ming is so important to this roster, right? Like, we saw a massive difference when we had Bunny in, just in terms of the control around mid-game, control around shot calling. And it has been a breath of relief, at least for RNG, but it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, at least to this point. And so definitely hearing some of those harsh words that being has in those SOTs, but it is felt when RNG are in these tight moments, and especially towards the end of the split. We'll see if they can execute on it. Way getting dragged out a little bit. Way, that's the crescent guard down. Elk is right there to fire away within the circle though, and your Venn diagram ain't saving you. As now Angel, he does have the CC, but he's locked down. He can't even use the timbers. You better be calling it upholstery, man, because your timbers ain't moving.
So Breathe stole the Herald, by the way, whilst that was all going on, but didn't pick up the eye. So the objective dies. On, of course, finds that pretty funny hook onto Wei, who just oversteps, and Angel pays for the sins of the play as well. So the objective is naught. I mean, Wei just goes in a bit haphazardly. The eye is just unfortunately facing Breathe, but he doesn't pick up the eye.
Get it.
He could have just.
There's so many options.
Just we'll get it on the way. It's so awkward. But flash forward here, really good from Bin. Locks down Angel. Excuse the voice cracker, they'll get that kill. And now BLG are primed, despite losing the Herald, to pick up the next dragon. How dare you? What am I 13?
I'm offended. This is third dragon though for BLG. It actually looks like RNG just want to try to get at least control of mid lane before they move down. The backs did come through, so BLG actually not pushing this momentum a little bit more here. Maybe trying to get some backs, maybe some item completion before they have to fight this, but they don't necessarily do. I feel like both teams are kind of comfortable in the stalemate, but if somebody overextends or somebody gets caught out, that's the difference.
If On hits the hook, like...
Then he spotted out. Uh-oh, TP's coming in now, BLG. Okay, everybody's coming to the fight now. You got Shun already popping the Lambsdorff fight. Wei getting a little bit lower. He uses the crescent guard. Here comes the damage, though. Slicing Maelstrom on the back. Gala's getting low, and he's not going down, though, as Bin has already been taken out. Elk gets a kill onto Angel, and it's the ADCs that are staying alive and putting out the damage.
The ult on the backline was good, but there just wasn't enough follow-up. I think the fact that Elk went over the wall and left Bin on a bit of an island in that 1v2 meant that BLG couldn't capitalize as heavily as they potentially could have, but they still win the fight. On again, massive hook onto Angel, sets him in too much of an awkward position. Wei gets kited out by Shun. The fight's still good. Just a couple of windows where RNG could have maybe snuck back in. Look at the replay straight away to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. Wei again, it just feels like goes a bit too far forward. The hook connects onto Angel. Shun forced to use the ultimate by himself, and Wei doesn't knock Shun out in time. Gets one shot, and as you can see, Elk comes over the wall to help with the assassination, and Bin is just by himself. Excellent exhaust from the side of Bing to stop that from being more damage.
Fight.
It is a very awkward fight.
Yeah, I wonder what the communications kind of sounded like in that moment where both teams are getting pulled to the edges of the fight. We'll see as that soul point does mean a lot for BLG. They also got the outer tower in mid lane. So they'll have 2 towers taken down, a third close to follow. But more so, what this means for their control around the map. They already have a huge gold lead, about 5,000 gold in the lead here, a sub 20 minutes. And they can kind of take their pick of the litter as the rest of the game plans out. You know, can they fight over the soul? Do they go for the Baron? Things like that. And we're still looking at stacking up for BLG.
Yep, BLG about to get the Archangel spike as well on Yagao. It looks like Elk going towards Blade, not Blade, a Bloodthirster. Both give life still, just slightly different effects on those items. By slightly, I mean massive, as BLG on spike now with those items. Gala just a touch behind Elk, but should be approaching that second item very soon, as that was a
he got his 4th mark.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Huge. All attack range increase is really big for Kindred, especially the initial one, because it's 75 extra range. That first range increase. So now gives the opportunity for Shun to really dance around the fight.
Still about using those strengths though and finding the picks with On again. You said you can hit those big moments that matter and could change games completely, but you can also go quietly into the night not having as much influence here. But it's a lot of movement around this top side of the map from BLG. Shouldn't be able to find anything just yet. They are just continuously looking for these picks while we have downtime.
That's all they have to do. To be honest with you, I think BLG are super comfortable with the gold lead that they're at. They're gonna have to be a little bit careful, and maybe when the dragon spawns up, they might be, you know, at item completion parity, maybe with the exception of top lane, where I expect Bin likely has an item completion cooking.
Has helped to play in the Bloodthirster now.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think Bin picked it up because the, you know, the animation didn't come up on the side. So just barely short of Shadow Flame, it looks like. But still very, very powerful.
Elk is just staying alive.
Yeah, he is.
He's got the double. You know how we used to have the Ezreal blue build? Now we have the Zeri red build.
Zeri red build. Yeah. Could
Need
go
more
Rune's
red
after
items.
this, but of course
Black Cleaver.
Black Cleaver. Yeah.
Does Rune's count? I feel like it's more orange and yellow.
Nah, it's red and yellow.
I feel like it's more orange.
Chat, let us know. Is Rune's red or yellow, or what do you say? Orange and yellow?
Orange and yellow, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Let
it's
us know,
red.
chat.
Anyway,
Let us know.
BLG.
Somebody let RNG know that they're doing Baron, though. As I think they're still a little hesitant on is using this vision to try to threaten a rocket grab as well.
Yeah, that's all you really have to do.
That's just gonna go back to it.
Yeah, you can just
Wow,
just do this for a while.
RNG. I think Tway realizes something's going on. He's like,
Yeah,
they're all missing.
Guys.
Okay. Well, this might just be Baron. I mean, they're already burning it down. RNG. They've just been taken out here. Nothing going to go their way. BLG get the Baron. That's a 3-minute timer and a dragon in a minute for Soul.
Man, I'm so confused on this. I guess RNG just didn't think they were capable at the end of the day once they eventually figured out what was going on, but it was just so... It just took so long for them to figure out. I'm confused. But BLG, the heist is complete.
Holy cow, look at that gold difference. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
You see the top 3 there. Yes, you have Gala, but then the next person on RNG has like 3,000 less gold than the carries of BLG.
It's only a mild problem. Wouldn't say it's that huge as, BLG. Items ready. Gala's the only one with 2 items right now. Everyone else is still trading behind. So if RNG are going to have a chance at winning this next team fight, denying Soul, it has to come from Gala.
Ben has already found a flank. He has not been spotted out. Finally does. They see him hovering the edges. They know that a flank is possible, and that is a game changer. But On is also one as Breathe is pushing in, trying to get some bounty gold here. Dragon started up by BLG.
BLG start that dragon up on the side. There's 1v1 brewing. RNG, what's the call? You're going to get flanked by
That's an
Yagao.
Ultra Shock Laser across now. Yagao in a little bit of
Gala!
trouble. Handshake pack. Oh! The rocket jab onto Gala! And that signals the end here. We got the trades back for the hostile takeover. That ain't enough. Angel, you got a CC. He doesn't even get to get the damage down, and he's gunned down in the line as Ben had found Breathe, and that's an ace for BLG.
A clean ace, and On hits the target. It's not off today, as they will get everything and maybe a little bit more. Towers to go down, the Ocean Soul as well. Excellent stuff from BLG. And Yagao finds his man on the flank, gets the root in, and there's no cleanse from Gala. It's healed. And it's a silver platter for this Rune Prison. On just picks the time. No one's able to body block for him.
Oh, Wei tries to get the Crescent Guard out to try to get some different, I guess, some distance between the two. Oh, hello there, side fight. Ben taking down Breathe, and I believe it was a solo kill over there, so getting the rest of it, but it is just that crazy back and forth that leads to BLG wiping the floor handily with RNG.
Yeah, RNG, they are potentially cruising to a defeat here against BLG. And I mean, they're the ones with a couple more games under their belt. I think they're 5 and 6.
Oh god, that's third item now.
Yeah, third item as well. 5 and 6 RNG. Move to 5 and 7 BLG. Picking up their 6th win. And I mean, a rare item as well. Lost that game earlier, so, you know, standings a little less contested at that 10th place mark for now. Of course, WE chasing as well, but I think WE's schedule is I don't remember it being that hard. So maybe they can catch up with RNG, but right now, forgetting the standings for a moment, BLG looking like they are just going to slowly suffocate RNG out this one.
And when we were looking at this matchup, we were so excited to get that kind of post-MSI swap check-in between Breathe and Bin. And while we've seen some back and forth games between the two, we've seen the tradings of Jax. Now Bin takes the upper hand with the Kennen in the last game and some crucial team fight flanks and setups that maybe he didn't even get into the fight, but pulling Breathe off of a fight against BLG is even bigger. Oh, and now the rocket grab yet again, and Wei with the Crescent Guard actually makes it out alive, but the siege is not going to stop anytime soon.
Alley-oops here from Yagao, so funny. He just walks up Rune Prisons and then on just to get to the hook in. It's an old strategy. It's not an old strategy at all, but it's a strategy now and it's working. In the meantime, Wei has to blow the ultimate. And now RNG, very close to getting pulled in again. I mean, he just fishes. That's all he has to do. Ocean Sword as well.
Oh my God! He's in trouble. He's trying to take down Gala. He goes golden though, and now Moonlight Vigil back. Hostile taker on top, and Lamb's Respite has been used. They're buying time, taking down Breathe, as now Bin is helping out a little bit by taking some of the damage. Elk is finding some shots out of Breathe. The Ultra Shock laser connects on the way, and BLG, they're coming for more. Can't hit the rocket grab, but Yagao gets burned down to a crisp by Angel.
Does indeed. I think they're going to be able to get the mid lane inhibitor though. A lot of resets going to have to come through from RNG, and they're just going to back away after the tower. It looks like they will. So no inhibitors, but tower's broken open. So if they do win a fight somewhere around the top side, if the wave is in their favor, they'll end the game. BLG not too fussed about how this went, but definitely could have punished a lot harder RNG stalwart defense in this one.
Well, we got third item completed for Elk, way ahead of time of Gala. And with, 10,000 gold deficit, I would say that would be the case. I think now it is back to that conversation of BLG just trying to cleanly close out these games. Not slipping, not falling, but cleanly pushing themselves to a 6-5 record.
Yeah, that's what you want. He
has to flash out of that one. You got TP coming down. This is a little bit of trouble for Yagao, who's just going to get stunned up so heavily. And now he's just gone again. He just got back. But they get him. Ming gets caught out in the end. Wei with a big Crescent Guard, though. You got to shut down over there. But now Ben. Oh, my God. Just like that. BLG eliminate RNG. The smiles show everything you need. BLG got the better end of the trade, and it has been and the entire team that come together and push it to a 2-1 victory over RNG.
It was starting to look like it could be a slow one, but BLG come in with the lightning and thunder, shock and awe for the final play of this one to close it out, and BLG dismantle RNG in game number 3. It wasn't even close. They'll
the double Beyblade composition, it all works out fine and dandy, and what a game for BLG. They've had some rocky starts, they've had some rocky finishes. They've lost to LGD in their last series, but they will not lose to RNG.
Refuse to lose this one, and it's a massive win for them, BLG.
Look at those smiles.
They needed that. They've been so inconsistent throughout the split, but picking up this win is going to be a bit of a feels-good moment because of how the standings lie. And the rest of their season, the schedule, it's not too bad for them. They can feasibly win a fair amount of their series 5